So actually we will spend more time on the preparatory techniques. So introduction wise only very few points. One introduction is that you can also see one text, not text actually, it is also in Varaha Puranam, Gita Mahatmyam. Gita Mahatmyam is the dialogue between Lord Vishnu and Bhuma Devi. So that one you can log in and see the meanings are also there. And before ending this total yoga class, one or two slokas, maybe in the next few Saturday we will share it. That is, it is the dialogue between Bhuma Devi and Lord Vishnu. It is starting with Dharavacha Bhagavan Parameshana Bhakti Ravya Bicharini Prarabdam Pujyamanasya Kadam Bhavati He Prabhu. So this starts with like this, and it is the glory of Gita. So that one introduction I want to tell you. You can Google out, and one or two slokas. There are more than 20 slokas verses. One or two we will discuss during the full, before ending the Gita class. That is not today. And another thing, I will give some information about this. That is, there's a proposal of declaring Bhagavad Gita as a treasure of the nation. That is, there's a proposal that some information we will be able to give. That's a proposal of declaring Bhagavad Gita as treasure of the nation. Then one more point. Last week I told that slightly I will tell you. See, human beings are endowed with emotion. Emotion. I already told last week, Jnanam is slightly opposed to emotion. Bhakti is in favor of emotion. So because human beings are endowed with emotion, directly jumping into Jnanam is a contradiction to the human constitution. So through Bhakti, Gita takes us to Jnanam. That is, I told you. I am just telling you again, one more very important aspect of Bhagavad Gita is the text, not Upanishads. Upanishads, there is no much place for emotion at all. Social life emotion, Laukika emotion. Okay, that is so. Bhagavad Gita is the only one. There it is for a Grahastha it is taught, and also Bhagavan is telling about Grahastha Ashram also in one or two verses that we will see in the next to next class. That is in Jiva Jagat Ishvara format. So another thing also it came into my mind in this week. See, once we go to Jnana Yoga, first is now we are discussing Jnana Yogyada. There's a difference between Jnana Yogyada and Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yogyada means eligibility, preparation, qualification, prerequisites. Jnana Yogyada. That is what is happening now. And I hope it will end with the next class. End means what? Most of the things will be covered with the next class. Karma Yoga is proposed. This is Jnana Yogyada. Then Jnana Yoga will start triangular format to binary format. So there, emotions with all attachments are highly restricted. It means what? Automatically it will it means reduce. We will see in this one of the preparation also how it automatically reduces. So, but human beings are endowed with emotion. No, so Bhagavan is the target for sharing the emotions. It happens beautifully. That's what is happening to us, both of us. We are sharing our emotions with Lord in the puja, parayana. There's one place should be there to share the emotions, no? All emotions. So that is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. The Lord comes in picture. So we can put our emotion, or we can share, or we can shed our emotions in the presence of God. So that is a beautiful this thing. Bhagavad Gita gives an opportunity. With this introduction is sufficient, and we will go into the verses. I have just circulated the list of 20-25 points about the importance of preparation in everything in life. So for normal pursuits also, so much preparation is required, and we are giving so much importance to all the preparation. 25 points I have given examples. So then the highest benefit giving thing is self-knowledge. Then see, we are having preparation for 15 years for getting a job, and this one after that getting that degree. But here 5 weeks we are having completion, 5 classes. or 6 classes. You just compare. And this one is going to give, if you properly proceed, the highest benefit which nothing in the creation under the sun can give. That is what this power. So spend more time in preparation and less time in other things. Then understanding and assimilation and owning up your original identification will be easier in the class after the 8th session. So we will start with the one simple this thing, that is 5th chapter 20 sloga. Here it is actually, we will have the sloga, then I will tell you. It is adopting the symptom of a wise person for preparatory procedure. See, these are all told in the 5th chapter, the symptoms of a wise person. So some symptoms we see the wise person symptoms and adopt in the preparatory level so that we will get the wisdom. So that is the way, one or two aspects we are adopting. And another area of preparation is putting up so many qualifications. There is more than 50 qualifications are there. Just we will go through the list, and a little more elaborate details will be available in the website in 1 week. Okay, we will start with the sloga, 5th chapter 20 sloga.
Pause, release.
प्राप्य नोद्विजे प्राप्य च प्रियम् स्थिरबुद्धिरहं मूढः ब्रह्मविद्ब्रह्मणि स्थितः.
Chapter 5, verse 20. The one who knows Brahman, who is established in Brahman, whose knowledge is firm, and who is free from delusion, would not rejoice over gaining that which is desirable, nor would he resent gaining that which is not likable. That's the translation.
This is adopting the symptom of Jnani. So the slogan starts with Na praharshyet priyam prapya nodvijet prapya ja priyam. So that two lines we are adopting. The second line is Brahma with Brahmani Sthitaha. That is the wise person. So na praharshyet priyam prapya. When we got the thing we want, we should not jump in joy. We should not get excited. That is the main word underline you can have adopting. Don't get excited on accomplishment of anything, because you are not the only factor in the accomplishment. Even my accomplishment, you are all the reason. So that is the very, very important thing. If you get excited, then you will get depressed on seeing the disappointments. So na praharshyet priyam prapya no utvijet prapya ja priyam means you should not get depressed of unexpected disappointments. So having equanimity, that is what this sloga. So this is simple one. Next we will have 3 slogas on disciplines of the body, disciplines of speaking, and discipline of the mind in the 17th chapter, 14, 15, 16. We will run through.
द्विज गुरु प्राज्ञा पूजनं शौचमार्जवम् ब्रह्मचर्यमहिंसा च शारीरं तप उच्यते.
Chapter 17, verse 14. Worshipping deities, brahmanas, teachers, and wise people, external cleanliness, straightforwardness, self-discipline, and not physically hurting are, that is, collectively called discipline of the physical body.
See this body-related discipline. Here it is whom we have to respect. Here Brahmana, don't think the caste Brahmana. There are 3 things Bhagavan is telling in other area. Jadi Brahmana, Karma Brahmana, and Guna Brahmana. We talk about only Guna Brahmana, not even Karma Brahmana. Means what? Those noble qualities, even if Any kind, any religion, not even in any religion, if a noble quality thinking person is a Brahmana. So nothing to do with Jadi Brahmana. Absolutely, you have to change your perception of our normal understanding. So that's why Brahmana, wherever it comes, it is nothing to do with Jadi. It is only the noble quality and the thinking person and who are in this pursuit. One more qualification will come here. That is also, it is there in this sloga itself. So, Deva Dvija Prakya Pujanam means respecting elderly people, and also Saucham, cleaning, and also Brahmacharyam. Brahmacharyam is in two ways, it is expressed. One is celibacy and another is Brahma Vichara. You see, one more word I want to introduce, once or twice only I have told in the last 5 classes. Atma's another name is Brahman. It is not Brahma, it is Brahman. That is Brihat, it is all pervading. So from the totality, Atma is called Brahman. From the individual, Brahman is called Atma. So Brahmacharyam is also expressed as Brahma Vichara in one of the commentaries. And Ahimsa cha Sariram Tavauchite. Physical harm. With our body, we should not harm anyone. That is in this Ahimsa. That is one more Ahimsa will come there, verbal and mental. Here we tell physical discipline. So that is not to harm others with our body. This is body related discipline. Next is speech discipline. Very interesting. That is 17th chapter, sloga number 15.
Translation. That's the translation.
अनुद्वेगकरं वाक्यं सत्यं प्रियहितं च यत् स्वाध्यायाभ्यसनं चैव वाङ्मयं तप उच्यते.
Chapter 17, verse 15. Speech which does not cause agitation, which is true, pleasing and beneficial, and daily repetition of one's own Veda are, that is collectively, called discipline of speech. That's the translation.
मनःप्रसाद.
Yeah, here about speech, a lot of things to be told. See, just bring to your mind, everything is well known, but we have to bring to your mind. That is what I also did. All living being you take, starting from creatures to the human being. I don't know how many crores are there, different living being. One living being only is having speech. Just think over our, there are 5 instruments of action. Okay, we already studied in our Vedanta Simplified. 5 hands, legs, speech, excretion and procreation. Then 5 instruments of knowledge: listening, seeing, smelling, tasting and touch. Then 5 pranas. Then mana, buddhi, ahankara, chitta, memory. All the living beings have got everything except speaking. Out of 20 faculties, all the creatures are having all other faculties in maybe inhibited way. Not like human being, but they are having. Even individuality they are having. Self-judgment, male, female, even that's why procreation is there in all the things. Plants also know. But speech, think over. Some parrots, okay, you teach, that is different. But who have speech with judgmental awareness and non-judgmental awareness? Only human being. So that speaking has got that much value, and it is discussed in one of the commentaries that speech dissipates energy. One of the source of energy leakage is speech. So we have to be very highly measured with our speech. So anudvegakaram means what? Highest dissipation of energy. And not only highest dissipation for this person who is shouting, it will hurt the other person also. So that is what anudvegaram, that is udvij. Then very interesting thing, satyam priyam hidam. Truthful, soft and benefit giving. It is it is not so easy. See, when you speak the truth, it is not that whatever the truth you have to speak. Very careful. All the truth in your mind should not speak. But whatever you speak should be truthful. No, it is vice versa. It is not that way. Whatever is in your mind, if you speak, it is dangerous. It is not good for the listener also. If you see an unintelligent person, if you tell him you are an idiot, that is not correct, You are not intelligent also, you should not tell. It will hurt the person. So you should not be truthful in those cases. In those cases, what? You keep quiet. Tolerate him or her. So these three qualifications together is a little difficult. Soft, then see three things, Satyam, Hidam and Priyam. Satyam is truthful, then Priyam means soft, we can say. It should give happiness is the translation, but soft. Then Hidam is beneficial. So these three things together is not so easy. Beneficial to especially to the listener. So one example is given that this teaching only. So telling a student, oh my dear student, listen to this, do your work on the basis of karma yoga, which is planned for the next class. So, dear student, do all your actions in the attitude of karma yoga and listen to Vedanta and achieve the goal of life. This one sentence is given as example in Bhagavad Gita home study. This is Satyam, Priyam and Hitam. Very simple example, but like this you have to adopt in your talking. So telling truth should give benefits means, one example also given in I think same home study. A drunkard is there, you should not go to him and tell the truth that one liquor shop is open today, they are giving free. This is the truth. It may give happiness to him, but it will not give him benefit. It will ruin him. So there only you have to be careful. These two examples studies I want to share with you. Then we will go to the next sloka. It is mental discipline. 16th sloka, 17th chapter.
सौम्यत्वम् मौनमात्मविनिग्रहः भावसंशुद्धिरित्येतत् तपोमानगमुच्यते अथ षोडशोऽध्यायः
I think it has not come translation. It has. See, mana prasada saumyatvam maunam atma vinigraha bhava samshuddhi ityeva tapo manasam uchyate. So here mana prasada sam. See, cheerfulness of the mind. It is a very good mental discipline. Cheerfulness of the mind will give saumyatvam. And bhava samsiddhi, our intention should be clear. Falsehood should not be there. So that is bhava samsiddhi. This is mana prasada samyatvam. Maunam. Again, maunam means you should not have the pressure of talking from within you. It's very important. Maunam means not always keeping silence morning to evening. The urge, the craving tendency to speak, that should be controlled. So the urge, the inner pressure to speak should not be there. If you have to speak, I have to speak. So other speech discipline we have just now shared. So these are all the mental discipline. Mental pressure should not be there for speaking. Then this thing, that next sloka will complete. There's 3 more slokas are there in 16th chapter, sloka 1 to 3. From here only there's a big list of specific preparation for this pursuit of self-knowledge. That is 16th chapter 1 to 3, and to be avoided is 4th sloka. Then 13th chapter. So we will start it, and in the halfway, after completing this 3-4 slokas of 16th chapter, before starting the 13th chapter, we will have some kind of deviation. Light song is there. It's Vedanta related song. 1 or 2 people we have shared. and for their opinion, music loving people. So that we will have for a deviation within the subject. So we will have 16th chapter, Daivasura Sampath Yoga, sloka number 1.
श्रीभगवानुवाच अभयम् तत्त्वसंशुद्धिः ज्ञानयोगव्यवस्थितिः दानम् दमश्च यज्ञश्च स्वाध्यायस्तप आर्जवम्.
Chapter 16, verse 1. Sri Bhagavan said, Bharata, that is Arjuna, freedom from fear, purity of mind, steadiness in contemplation, charity, judicious restraint, that is of sense organs, performing rituals, recitation of one's own branch of the Veda, religious discipline, that is austerity, alignment of thought, word and deed. That's the translation.
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi. Jnana Yoga Vyavasthita. Abhayam is fearlessness. See, fearlessness, two fears. One is fear of death and fear of future. Fear of death is dealt in Atmajnanam more elaborately, because body is only dying, I am not dying. So that will be there. But here in the initial stage, it is death comes only once. So when it comes, let us see, why should we fear about that? That much only is very important point about death. It is unavoidable. So that is one thing. And second thing, fear of future is given example of so many living beings. They are also afraid of death. They also have future. Are they worried? It is a given example of ants moving in this thing, no? They have lot of interaction also, and they go. But side by side, they see big feet, foot, whatever thing. People walk around. They know it is falling on them, they will get crushed, but they are not worried. So when this many living beings are there, and once you have some kind of mental discipline of what I want for living, then fear of future goes away. And another very important thing, what I have already told twice, I am telling here, because once you start implementing the discipline and pursue self-knowledge side by side, self-knowledge will come from the 8th class, we plan. Then what happens once you reach some kind of qualifications, eligibility, then it forms a positive cycle. That will induce more and more benefits. That benefits will spontaneously trigger the eligibility qualification. So that positive cycle you can activate. That is a beautiful way which is given by God in this pursuit. In other things, not so much. Though experience will give some kind of learning in other ways, this is totally, it will give a positive cycle and momentum will increase. So that way, this eligibility things you start adopting. Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi. Then see, there are 2-3 things are covered already. Arjavam, straightforwardness. Saucham, cleanliness. Cleanliness is cleanliness of the mind also. Avoiding falsehood. When you should not pretend, you should not act with kind of deceit, there is dishonesty and everything. So that is also there here. And then next sloka also continuation. That also we will cover. After that, after 3-4 slokas, we will have some kind of break, I told you, a song. So next sloka we will do.
अहिंसा सत्यमक्रोधः त्यागः शान्तिरपैशुनम् दया भूतेष्वलोलुप्त्वम् मार्गवम् ह्रीरचापलम्.
Chapter 16, verse 2. Absence of hurting, truthfulness, resolution of anger, renunciation, resolution of the mind, absence of calumny, compassion for living beings, absence of ardent longing, softness, modesty, absence of physical agitation. That's the translation.
Here only few words are new words. Otherwise, ahimsa means here it is told all thoughts, words, and deeds, not hurting others. Truthfulness we have discussed. Then comes 3-4 words are little new words. Hri and Achapala. So Hri means what? Modesty. Opposite to self-glorification. Some people will be a little bit hesitate about glorification. That's a good habit, it is told. That is, we should not be after appreciation. Longing for appreciation is dangerous. Now, modesty is telling a little reservedness. So that's a good habit. That's not free. Achapala means physical movements. Some people will have the habit of speaking to themselves. But when you ask them anything, they will immediately respond. It is not any kind of mental problem. But they have the habit of speaking to themselves. So that thing, along with shaking the hands and legs, always doing something, shaking, especially told shaking hands and legs. These things, by practice, you have to stop. It's a dissipation of energy, and it is opposite. It is not. It will not. Is not conducive to self-knowledge. So Ajapala. Then Mardava. Mardava means mridu bhavana, softness in speech. Then all the other things are covered. And alolutvam. Alolutvam is that is longing for so many things. Either it is an object or people, company, all the things. Longing should not be there. You can be happy with the people, you can, and be happy without people. You can be happy with the item, need not be happy. So, longingness is not like alolutva. So, those things are there. Next one also you will see. Then, next 16.3.
Tejakshamadhuti shaucham adroho natimanita bhavanti tam padam daivim abhijatasya bharata.
Chapter 16, verse 3. Brilliance, composure, fortitude, cleanliness, no thought of hurting, and no exaggerated self-opinion. All these are there for the one who is born to the wealth of Devas. That's the translation.
Yeah, here brilliance means that is mental cheerfulness will have a glow. So that is what is there, but it will not come initially. So it is one of the good qualification for this pursuit. Mental cheerfulness should reflect in the face. So then other things, okay, that is the thing means that is this pursuit determination to have this pursuit priority increase and taking part in these activities of listening and doubt clearance and group discussions, all the things, determination in this pursuit. Then almost other things are over in this one. Then next sloka is avoiding some of the aspects. That is coming after these 3 slokas. Anyway, that we will do it. It is necessary before this starting the pursuit, but it is the 4th sloka. Bhagavan is telling to Arjuna 4-5 aspects of the mind is opposite to this pursuit. That we will see. 16th chapter, 4th sloka.
Sambhodhattobhimanasya krodhaparushyamevacha ajnananchaabhijatasya parthasampadamāsuri.
Chapter 16, verse 4. Partha, that is Arjuna, the one who is born to the wealth of an Asura, has hypocrisy with reference to dharma, pride, a tendency to demand respect, anger, harshness, and indeed a lack of discrimination. That's the translation.
So here one or two only new one. That is deviation to dharma. That is the thing, first thing. Then discrimination, that is right and wrong discrimination is first discrimination is right and wrong. Then dharma, adharma discrimination. These two are required for the normal life. Normal life, right and wrong. then when you come to this kind of spiritual thing, the first thing is dharma, discrimination. Discrimination means adopting also. Then another discrimination is atmanatma. That will come from the 8th class. These three things. These are all opposite. Then parushya. That is harshness in speech. We should avoid harshness in another way we already discussed. This over. Now, he is ending the 5th sloka with very simple meaning that that is Daivi Sampat means what? Whatever is favoring this pursuit that you are having. So, Mahasucha, don't worry. Asuri Sampat you don't have is telling for encouraging Arjuna. So, we will end this and then we will have the deviation within this subject. Folk song.
दैवी सम्पद्विमोक्षाय निबन्धाय सुरीमत माशु च सम्पदम् दैवीम् अभिजातोऽसि पाण्डव.
Chapter 16, verse 5. Spiritual wealth is considered to be for freedom. That is, the wealth of an asura for bondage. Pandava, that is Arjuna, do not grieve. You are born to spiritual wealth.
Now, folk song which suddenly came yesterday night idea, so I asked my wife. This is a folk song in Tamil, but shared by a Malayali. That is Ashwini Tirunal from Trivandrum Raja family. So we got his voice, and his speech is combined with Malayalam and Tamil. And anyway, that we will share the thing. But this is a folk song. I think D.V. Srinivas only may know about the group. I don't know who others have come. No, the elderly, above 50-year-old. So the folk song means when I was in schools, we used to attend one folk program, even with big pujas, Ayyappan puja and everything. One day will be Villupattu. So Kottamangalam Subbu was famous at the time. A big bow will be there with lot of jalras and choruses. So people will sit, 5-6 people, they will beat the string of the bow, along with other accomplishment. It will be very nice. It will be semi-Vedanta. Some verses will be there, easy to understand, but it will have two meanings. One is normal meaning, good meaning, and also another is Vedanta meaning. So we will share both. This song is, I will tell, okay, I will tell, but because it starts with the music, you may not be able to get the words. Nanda Vanathil or Andi, Avan Nalara Madamai Kuyavanai Vendi, Kondu Vanda Norutondi, Adai Kutadi, Port Udaitandi, Nanda Vanathil or Andi. So this is the one. So this it will take only 2 minutes for the music. Then we will share the meaning, direct meaning and also implied meaning. Yeah.
நந்தவனத்தில் ஓராண்டி நந்தவனத்தில் ஓராண்டி அவன் 4 மாதம் கூத்தாடி கூத்தாடி போட்டுடை தாண்டி நந்தவனத்தில் ஓராண்டி அவன் 4 மாதமாய் குயவனை வேண்டி கொண்டு வந்தான் ஒரு தோண்டி அதை கூத்தாடி கூத்தாடி போட்டுடை தாண்டி நந்தவனத்தில் ஓராண்டி.
Now the meaning we will share, that is what very interesting. I like that tune also. See, in a garden there was a illiterate. Nandavanathil means a garden, illiterate Andi. To start with, Andi is Muni, means like a panda in Sanskrit who has renounced everything. So it is a folk song, no? So we will start with the folk meaning. Nalaru Madamai Kuivanai Vendi means 10 months his mother when pregnant, no? 10 months. Through his mother's womb, 10 months he was there and has come out. 4 plus 6 means 10 months. And this birth, blessed by the Lord, comes out. And he got the body. That's what Kuda means, pot. Because earthen pot is compared to a body because the body will be going to the earth, either by burying or by burning. So, slightly it is now coming to Vedanta. So, he got the body, human birth, with his own karma blessed by God. Then what happens when he becomes adult? He adopted all kinds of pleasure-giving things. Kutadi, kutadi, that is what? Not only joy and this thing, legitimate enjoyments, excitements, and after the body-related pleasures, activities, only sense gratification, sense gratification, sense gratification. Charvaka's philosophy, the body is for that only. All the senses for enjoyment. So that is not correct. So that is why the last line tells, Kutadi kutadi potudai tandi. He just wasted the human birth. This is high philosophy. So, starting with the normal illiterate person, it goes to the high philosophy. This is a meaning. That is both folk meaning as well as this one, Vedanta meaning. Here the pot example, Kuyavanai Vendi means Lord example, they are all highly Vedantic. Pot is taken as a example in many aspects of Vedanta by Adi Shankara himself. And in the second chapter, 11th sloka, we started with teaching. So the 16th sloka, one sloka is there, very deep, very profound meaning, Nasade Vidyado Bhava. There it is Adi Shankara's Gada Bhashyam is coming in pages and pages and pages and pages, taking the example of pot. Because pot was the prevalent thing in that time, means about 1000 years before. Pot maker, wheel, and different kinds of pots. So they took this analogy, the example pot. Because the reality of pot is what? The reality of pot is the clay. Then pot, from where pot came? Because it has got the form by keeping a lump of clay on the wheel and swirling it, means swinging. So by doing that one, it gets a form. When it gets a form, what happens? Inside the pot, it gets a space. That space is not a new space. Actually, pot is formed in the all space. Then pot space becomes very useful. 1 liter pot, 2 liter pot, utility is there. But is it really existing, the space? It's a new thing created? No. It's created by the form of the pot. So, this is, means we'll discuss, we'll see the Ayurvedanta. That's what Jiva, Atma, soul and everything is a notion. It is not a new creation. So that is very important thing. So this is example we will discuss in the Vedanta. Then the pot maker, without pot maker, the pot cannot come. Without clay, pot cannot come. But what is the truth of the pot is clay. Because different size of pots, different shapes of pots, different decorated pots will be there. But the truth is clay. So there's you can see the Google and everything. We have got some small clippings of Puja Swamiji mimicry. That is, whether the truth is pot, he himself have a dialogue. Very interesting thing, Gadabhashyam. So there, small pot, if it is jealous of the big pot, initially it will be there, oh big pot is a big pot, small is. But the truth of the pot is clay. When the small pot understands that the truth is clay, it will not have the jealousy, it will have the oneness with the clay. So this one, logically what you can do, when pot breaks it becomes clay, it comes from clay, it exists because of the clay. Because when you remove the clay from the pot, nothing will exist. Then when you touch a pot, really you are touching the clay. It is not only for pot, it is golden ornaments also, water also, wave and everything. This is what Vedanta, the content, the stuff, the substratum of the thing is the reality. So here the reality of the pot is clay. And in High Vedanta it is discussed in Chandogya Upanishad. Vacharambanam vikaro namadeyam mritya ityeva satyam. That is, everything in the creation is nama, rupa and function. The reality is Atma and Brahman. So that is in Chandogya. So this much Vedanta is there in this thing. So for some deviation we started. Now we will go to the 13th chapter. One of the most important prerequisite listing is there. Sloka number, actually in two versions are there. 13th chapter is having, first sloka itself it starts with teaching. So what happens, without a question, teaching should not be there. So they have incorporated one sloka in the first. So in some books it is from 7 to 11 and in some books from 8 to 12. Don't bother. The sloka starts with amanitvam, adambitvam. So that we will start. So you can refer the books. We will also circulate in about a week about the 6th class, because website was not there. We are not able to do anything. 2-3 days. Our internet was there, so it will be there. Their enlistment is there, checklist is there, and also a little elaborate thing also will be there about all the qualifications. So we'll start with the 13th chapter. The time is only I think 20 minutes now. Not even 15 minutes. We will cover this 3 slokas. These are 5 slokas.
अमानित्वमगं वित्वम् अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचम् धैर्यमात्मविनिग्रहः.
Chapter 13, verse 7. Absence of conceit, absence of pretension, not hurting, accommodation, straightforwardness, service to the teacher, cleanliness, steadfastness, mastery over the mind. That's the translation.
See, amanitvam, that is pretending as if a person, I am having some qualification and demanding respect. So 1 minute, because this is adambitvam. Amanitvam is you are having the qualification and expecting respect. Means what? See, you may be a big shot in your circle, but when you go out, it is not necessary that everyone should respect you. So, this is what amanitvam, having a qualification and everything, and demanding respect. This is because those who don't have self-esteem, they will have this problem, because they want more and more respect. Their own people may not give that much respect. They know this person's weakness also. So he tried to compensate by demanding respect from others. So this is what, though he is having, the person is having qualification, you should not demand respect, you should not expect respect. That is there in MNT also. If you expect, you will have disappointment. If you demand, you will lose at the back. At the back, they will tease. So instead of that, develop respect and command respect. Instead of demanding, commanding, or developing respect by your thoughts, words, and deeds. That will come arjavam. This is one. Second is adambitvam is without without qualification expecting or demanding. That is too bad. So that is that one way. Initially, people will give it respect because of the post or something or money. Afterwards, they will lose definitely. So that is what adambitvam. That is demanding without any qualification. Then ahimsa we have already discussed in thoughts, words, and deeds. Non-violence. Arjavam is straightforward. Thoughts, words, and deeds in alignment. Then most of the other things are dealt here. Ahimsa, Arjavam. Acharya Upasanam. Here it is some one. In addition to the doing service and everything, one good idea is given that you live with the teacher, because previously Gurukulam and everything, the students will be living with the teacher. So they can adopt the teacher's ways also, ways, manners, and also other things, and go on contemplating on the teacher will help the student to understand the truth. That is, these are all for understanding the truth, self-knowledge. So Acharya Upasanam also, that is serving the teacher and seeing on contemplating on his behaviors and living will also help. Saucham is cleanliness. Then Arjavam, all these things are left. Then we will go to the second, that is next sloka. I will not tell the number because in some thing it is 7 to 11, some it is 8 to 12. So because of one sloka addition. So next sloka will go Indriyartheshu Vairagyam.
इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम्.
Chapter 13, verse 8. Dispassion towards the sense objects, absence of pride, and seeing clearly the defects of pain in birth, death, old age, and disease. That's the translation.
So in last sloka, one thing is there, very nice. Indriyartheshu Vairagyam.
Verse 8.
Indriyartheshu Vairagyam, that is one example I can share. Here, see, you can see the children when they are a few months and 1 year. Nowadays, okay, some changes are there. They are more mature in the young age, but still this trend is there. When they are very small, they will be very much fond of toys. Their life is with them. They will cry like anything. Now, babies means non-moving toys also, with the sound-making toys and everything. But when they grow, 2, 3 years or 4 years, these toys will be somewhere left over and they won't even not even care them. They will be after the bat or ball, and when they become more this thing, no, for playing cricket, not with toy bats and balls. They will want actual things. So that is growing out of the things. So this is an example in the so here. And adolescence, you know what happens, girlfriend, boyfriend, then bikes and everything. So this is growing out of the desire. So how it happens? Same way, in self-knowledge, you have the goal of understanding your real nature. So instead of telling that, don't have this kind, don't have attachment, don't have this one, don't have desire, don't have one higher goal, then automatically, spontaneously, you will have little bit detachment with all other things. That is a beautiful thing. This example is there. The next sloka is start with Indriyartheshu Vairagyam. Almost same thing, sense gratification. Anahankaram evacha, then pride and everything. Then Indriyartheshu Anahankaram evacha. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam. Here this is a higher meaning. See, unless otherwise this is shared, people will ignore it. This cycle of birth and death, You have to get into the core understanding. Once you are in this cycle, automatically you cannot come out. So you have to analyze it and also understand the other aspect, the sufferings and everything regarding the birth and death. So here also one example is that quickly I will tell because I have noted down. That is, without analyzing and having small enjoyments and everything and giving importance to those things, accumulation of assets and hereditary or vamsha and babysitting, all the things, pity only. Anyway, I don't want to elaborate. But example is very interesting example. So here, a person is going in the forest. Suddenly he saw a tiger, and tiger also saw this person, and he started chasing, and this person ran for his life. While running, he fell into the one well. Well means what? It's a dry well. But it's an instinct, reflex action. When he was falling, he caught hold of something in the hand that happens to be a bunch of grass. So he is halfway in the well. The well may not be so deep, so he can see up, he can see down. He is catching hold of those grasses and hanging for the life. Up, the tiger is there. It is watching him. Tiger cannot jump on him because tiger knows it may jump on the well. And below him in the ground, means the well bottom, there are snakes, poisonous snakes. This fellow is hanging with the grass. Above him is the tiger. Below him is snakes, poisonous snakes. And the grass is there. He is holding on to grass. Now, one rat came and started cutting the grass. You see now the climax. What he will do? In this terrible occasion, there was a side-by tree. On the tree there is honeycomb. From that honeycomb, drops of honey is falling. This fellow, his life is how many minutes is going to last, because rat is cutting the grasses. He is trying to lick the honey. This is what? Life. This is stored in Vedanta. Small things you are running after for this life, like your vamsha, your property, your assets. All these things are just like the drops of honey you are tasting. Whereas this self-knowledge will give everything under the sun. Once you understand that you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the soul. That will be the teaching from 8th class. This example also we missed in Vedanta class. This is a very famous example, so I have shared with you. So this is one next sloka also, one important sloka, we'll see. Two more slokas are there. Next sloka.
Dispassion towards the sense objects, absence of pride, and seeing clearly the defects of pain in birth, death, old age, and disease.
Yeah,
That's the
The
translation.
next sloka we'll see.
मैकानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशदेवित्वम् अरतेर्जनसंसदि.
Chapter 13, verse 10. An unswerving devotion to me that is not connected to anything else, the disposition of repairing to a quiet place, no longing for the company of people. That's the translation.
I think one sloka is missed. That is Ashaktihi, Asaktihi, Anabhishvangaha, Putradara Grihadishu. So that one is a very delicate thing. Here, when we are seeing in other Viveka Chodamani also, the attachment, affection and love. With family, you can have plenty of affection and love. Affection and love. But when it comes to attachment, you have to be very careful. That's what Asakti and Anabhishvanga, Putradara Grihadishu. That is over attachment, ownership of the family, obsession, possessiveness. They are all dangerous. And Anapishmanga Putradhara Grihadishu. That is identification. Your self-identification with family. That is very dangerous. They are also, family people are also human being created by Lord and happen to be your spouse. But you cannot, ownership also wrong, over attachment also wrong, and the identification with them. You are totally get identified with your possession, or you get identified with your position, or you get identified with your family. That is very, very opposite to this knowledge. So here we are changing the identification from the false identification to the true identification by self-knowledge. Whereas identification with the possession family is totally opposite. That is very clearly told in this verse, very important. Then next is Mai Chananya Yogena Bhakti Abhyabhijarani. That is Bhakti, unconditional devotion to the Lord. That we will see in Karma Yoga, that Lord comes into picture from in the next one. After that, Jiva Jagat Yoga, the triangular format, Ishvara. There also we will see about the Bhakti that already I told you, emotion Bhakti is very important in this one. So Bhagavad Gita is the source of both Bhakti and Jnana. Then Vivikta Desha Sevitvam, Aratihi Janasamsi. That is, they are all finding a quiet place and everything. Means free from this one dangers and everything, and for this self-knowledge and concentrating on the knowledge. So one more sloka is there, then we will try to stop. I think one more sloka is left over. Next.
Yatmajnananityatvam tatvajnanarthadarshanam etatjnanamiti proktam ajnanam yadatonyatha.
Chapter 13, verse 11. Always, that is dwelling upon knowledge centered on the self, keeping in view the purpose of knowledge of the truth, that is all. This that was told is the means to knowledge. What is opposite to this is ignorance. That's the translation.
So Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam, Tattva Jnana, that's very easy meaning. That is means primary goal, giving priority and everything to the self-knowledge. And Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, 3 stages of this pursuit, giving importance and taking interest, asking doubts, clarification, and internalization. Then neutralization of the precipitated thoughts. They are all this one. And opposite to all this Amanitvam onwards 20 things are, that is Virodhi to Jnana. That is Edat Jnanam Vidhi Proktam, Jnanam Tadado Anyata. So this with the ending. Now it is, I think, nearing 9.
Yeah, nearing.
So I will
Almost 9 too.
Oh, 9 already. So we have ended also. Next class will be Karma Yoga. Lot of slokas are there in Bhagavad Gita. We will pick up some slokas, and also in actual life, practical life. Not only in your office action, in any action, Karma Yoga can be adopted for another very special preparatory technique provided by Bhagavad Gita. It's a unique aspect of Bhagavad Gita is Karma Yoga. One aspect is there, and don't miss it, because for me 8 years of Karma Yoga was provided by Lord himself, Ishvara, without my knowledge. That is from 2002 to 2010. That is a beautiful thing I got. So I think that may be one of the reason that I could understand. So Karma Yoga is very important. So next class, and now we will end the session, and if anything is there you can question. Then first we will end the session.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.